మనం ఆరోగ్యంగా ఉండాలంటే నేల కూడా ఆరోగ్యంగా ఉండాలి. భూమి ఎంత సారవంతంగా ఉంటే అంత మంచి ఆహారం మనకు అందుతుంది. ఆహార పదార్థాల్లో పోషక విలువలు ఉండటం లేదంటే అందుకు కారణం నేల సారం కోల్పోవడమే. అందుకే అన్నం పెట్టే నేల తల్లిని కాపాడుకోవాలంటున్నారు సద్గురు జగ్గి వాసుదేవ్. ఇటీవలే సేవ్ సాయిల్ అంటూ సరికొత్త ఉద్యమానికి నాంది పలికారాయన. 100 రోజుల పాటు 25కి పైగా దేశాల మీదుగా 30,000 కిలోమీటర్లు ద్విచక్ర వాహనంపై ప్రయాణానికి మార్చి 21న లండన్లో శ్రీకారం చుట్టారు. భూమిని కాపాడుకోవాల్సిన ఆవశ్యకతపై అవగాహన పెంచడమే ఈ యాత్ర ముఖ్య ఉద్దేశం. 65 ఏళ్ల వయసులోనూ నిరంతరాయంగా బైక్ నడుపుతున్నారు. ప్రజలు, ప్రభుత్వాలు సహకరిస్తే భూమిని కాపాడుకోవచ్చని అంటున్న సద్గురు జగ్గి వాసుదేవ్తో ప్రత్యేక ముఖాముఖి.
భవిష్యత్తు తరాలు బాగుండాలంటే మట్టిని కాపాడుకోవాలి. ఇదే ఉద్యమంగా తీసుకొని సేవ్ సాయిల్ అంటూ 27 దేశాల్లో బైక్ పై ప్రయాణిస్తున్నారు జగ్గి వాసుదేవ్ గారు. ప్రస్తుతం సద్గురు మనతో ఉన్నారు. మరిన్ని వివరాలు ఆయన మాట్లాడుతున్నాం. సద్గురు అనగానే ముందుగా గుర్తొచ్చేది యోగానే. అయితే ఇప్పుడు మీకు ఈ యొక్క సాయిల్ ని కాపాడుకోవాలి. ఇంతకుముందు మీరు వాటర్ కి సంబంధించి కూడా ఇలాంటి ఒక క్యాంపెయిన్ చేశారు. ఇప్పుడు సాయిల్ ని కాపాడుకోవాలి అని చెప్పేసి ఒక పెద్ద క్యాంపెయిన్ చేస్తున్నారు. ఈ థాట్ ఎక్కడ మొదలైంది?
Whether you do yoga or you protect the soil, both are only about life. So soil is in such a dangerous situation right now that in another 50 to 60 years, the future generations will have a terrible life here, wherever we are in this world, if we don't address this now. So what I'm seeing is, in the last few years, as you know, in the last 20 years, many things have happened. One thing is, in the last 25 years, 10% of the Earth's land has become desert. The highest number of suicides in the United States among all professions is among farmers. Not even 2% of our country's Bharat Deshanlo, even 2% of the people don't want their children to become farmers. Among the farmers, I am saying. And in the last 20 years, 3 lakh farmers have committed suicide. I don't know what else should happen to people that to wake them up. Because no matter what happens, people have learnt a way of distracting themselves and ignoring the problem. So I decided I will bring this attention, the world's attention to this. So if I travel by airplanes or even by car, the attention won't come. So I decided to do this 30,000 kilometers on a motorcycle. Well, they are saying next 5 days it's going to rain.
As you mentioned that so many farmers are committing for suicide and they don't want their children to be farmers. So what is the major reason behind this?
Whatever the bank loans, whatever nonsense, if he is able to provide food for his family, he will not commit suicide. This is something every human being values their life and their family's life. It is not that they see people just want to commit suicide for nothing. Because he is not even able to provide for his family food. When you are not able to feed your children, you will feel it's better to kill yourself. That's all that's happening.
So Sadguru, మీరు ఈ నెల 15 నుంచి కూడా ఈ అనేక దేశాలు తిరుగుతున్నారు. ఇప్పటికే బెర్లిన్ సహా చాలా ప్రాంతాలను మీరు విజిట్ చేశారు. సో ఈ యొక్క రైడ్ ఎలా అనిపించింది మీకు?
The response from the people has been spectacular. We are also meeting various government officials. 6 nations from the Caribbean have already signed with us. 54 nations from Commonwealth countries have declared that they will be a part of this. We are very sure most of the South American and at least 22 nations from Africa will sign up. Germany announced $4 billion for regenerating soil ecology, which is a very positive step for us. And we have been working with the government of India since 2006 to change certain policies. Then the Rally for Rivers, the policy changed. Then we established Kaveri calling. Looking at the success of Kaveri calling, the government of India made 13 detailed project reports for 13 river basins.
Okay.
And just about a week or maybe 10 days ago, they announced a 19 1,000 crore budget for these 13 river basins. These 13 river basins will cover 67% of the country's agricultural land. So if this is implemented, now it will be, because now the budgets are on. So this is a very, very positive step for India. Looking at the success of Kaveri calling, the UN agencies, 4 of them are partners with us now: UNCCD, UNEP, World Food Program, and also IUCN. They have partnered with us. So I am speaking at the COP15 in Ivory Coast. So there 170 nation or national representatives will be there. I am addressing, and before that, if all of you media people cooperate and really take this up as your own, because this is not just my planet, this is your planet, this also belongs to your children for the future generations. If we do this and move 3 to 3.5 billion people before 9th and 10th of May, when I will be addressing the COP15, no democratic nation can say no when 60% of the population says yes to soil. What I have seen is everybody wants it to happen, but nobody wants to take it up. That's why I thought I'll take it up, because this is a very, very dire situation. If we don't attend to it now, another 25 years later, we will not be able to do anything, because the biodiversity loss is happening at that pace, that if we don't do it now in the next 10-15 years, it will become very difficult. This is not just one more problem. This is a fundamental problem, because soil is the basis of our existence.
సద్గురు మామూలుగా ఎన్వైరన్మెంట్ గురించి మాట్లాడిన ప్రతిసారి మనం గాలి గురించి మాట్లాడతాం, నీరు గురించి మాట్లాడతాం, కానీ సాయిల్ కి ఇప్పటి వరకు ఎందుకు అంత ప్రయారిటీ ఇవ్వలేదంటారు?
In the last 2 years, I've been talking to various leaders across the world, ministers, prime minister, some of the heads of state, a lot of scientists from UN agencies, and various influencers. What I see is everybody knows about it. Everybody knows what's the problem.
Okay.
Everybody knows approximately, at least generally, what is the solution. But nobody takes it up.
మీరు ఇప్పటిదాకా వెళ్ళిన కంట్రీస్ లో ఏవైనా సాయిల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ కోసం ప్రత్యేకంగా చేస్తున్నటువంటి కార్యక్రమాలను మీరు గమనించారా?
Yes, one thing is we've been pushing for cover crops in various countries. Now, after we started pushing for this in the last 30 or 35 days ago, United States government allocated $1 billion for cover crops. UK government has announced subsidies for providing for cover crops. Caribbean countries, 6 countries have signed up with us, and we are creating a committee of scientists who will handhold these countries towards soil regeneration. I will be going back to both the Caribbean region and South America, where we are setting up scientific committees to assist the governments to make sure that the small countries will be able to do it. The bigger countries may have the science and the knowledge and the money to do it. The smaller countries may not have research stations and stuff. So we are setting up this high-level committee to assist these nations. They are all very, very eager to do this, because they know the problem. For example, Caribbean countries are almost importing 80 to 85% of the food that they eat. They want to come out of that slavery, because slowly the food that is being coming from as imports has caused so much ill health that out of every 4 men, 3 of them have chronic ailments like diabetes, blood pressure, because of too much processed food, which is also happening in India in a big way for various reasons. But anyway, in these Caribbean countries, these 6 countries put together, for whom we have signed these agreements, $10 billion worth of food is being imported. For small nations, this is a huge amount. This could have been grown in their own country, but unfortunately, due to wrong practices and also a certain amount of pressure from certain nations, this has happened. Now they are determined to grow their own food. So we are seeing how we can, the science part of it, we can provide. The economic part of it, they should handle themselves.
సద్గురు, మీరన్నట్టు భారత్ లో కూడా ఇప్పుడిప్పుడే ఆహారపు అలవాట్లు కావచ్చు, లైఫ్ స్టైల్ హ్యాబిట్ల వల్ల కొన్ని రకాల వ్యాధులు బారిన పడుతున్నారు. ఈ నేపథ్యంలోనే ఏన్షియంట్ లైఫ్ స్టైల్ ని కూడా మనం ఇప్పుడు అడాప్ట్ చేసుకుంటున్నాం. పాత లైఫ్ స్టైల్స్ లో అంటే మనం ఏవైతే ఆర్గానిక్ ఫుడ్ తీసుకోవడము, ఎలాంటి కెమికల్ లేకుండా ఫార్మింగ్ చేయడం లాంటివి, ఇవి సాయిల్ ప్రొటెక్షన్ కి ఎంత వరకు ఉపయోగపడతాయి అంటారు?
మా ఇప్పుడు ఉండే స్థితిలో కెమికల్ లేక మీరు యూ కెనాట్ డూ అగ్రికల్చర్ నా. We cannot eliminate fertilizers and insecticides completely.
Okay.
Overuse, excessive use is happening. That has to come down. But if that has to come down, it is very important the soil organic content goes up. If the soil becomes rich, the farmer will naturally use less and less fertilizer over a period of time.
Okay.
But right now, if you cut off all fertilizer and insecticide, our food production could come down to 25% of what it is right now. That will be a serious problem. I think Sri Lanka is facing that problem with over enthusiasm. They went for organic farming and they're paying the price. That is why we are not talking about organic farming. We are not talking about any kind of farming. The farmer can decide what kind of farming he wants to do. But in the marketplace, we can put it up like this. If your farm has 3%, right now most of India's land, 62% of India's land has organic content less than 0.5%. So if you raise your organic content, let's say to 3%, which is supposed to be the minimum according to international standards, you can advertise. Let us say your paddy is growing at 3% organic content in your fields. If it is tested and confirmed, you can just say my paddy or my rice comes from 3% organic content, is a regenerated soil. Then in the market, people will pay a higher price. So if you make it 6%, a much higher price, because first thing is, if the nutrient level is very high, definitely all the ailments largely can be eliminated or at least brought down significantly. Above all, you will eat much less because it's very nutritious. You cannot eat too much food. Because of lack of nutrition in the food, everybody is consuming more food than they should because the food is not giving them the nutrients, so body is demanding more food. So this is it can only be done with incentives. The government has to give incentive saying if you raise it to 3%, we will give you this much money. If you raise it to 6%, you can give this much money. For example, now India is seriously water stressed. 84% of our water is being used for agriculture.
Yeah.
And a whole lot of regions are very water stressed in summers. You very much know that in Telangana and Andhra Pradesh,
Yes,
it is there. So what I am saying is, if you raise the organic content in the soil to 8 to 10%, the irrigation requirement will come to 30% of what it is